let's continue to talk about Inside. The cage is destroyed, and the boy drowns, ending his life in a blissful brutality. Nah, I'm only fucking with you. He escapes from the cage, then pulls a lever to reach the next area.
Oh. Well, that was anticlimactic.
Now, where might we be now, then? Kinda looks like some sort of facility. Maybe we should explore it some. The next puzzle involved a simple press of the button. I see our stringy-haired friend has made a return, which makes sense since we didn't kill it earlier. Nonetheless, I managed to launch a couple of launch boxes. Oh, I'm dead. And I'm dead again. Nonetheless, I managed to launch a couple of launch boxes, and sure enough, I found the creature again. It chased me all around the place, but I managed to swim to safety. I found a chain rope that would move when I pressed the button. As I swung back and forth on the rope, the creature lingered in the water below, ready to kill me if I was able to reach its grasp. Luckily, I didn't do that, and I was able to swim away from the creature and through the exit. A hop, skip, and a jump later, and I made it to the next room. It had water in it, and again, the creature gave chase.
You know, I'm getting real tired of your shit.
Well, we've escaped the creature's wrath before, but now we can do it again right here. I climbed the chain, but then I ended up back in the water, and for fuck's sake, the creature's killed me.
Or so I thought anyway, since the creature kept swimming downwards through the dark, murky underwater corridor. On top of that, I noticed some kind of cable attached to the boy. This cable also posed a few questions in my head. What exactly is the creature's modus operandi? Is it some kind of guardian angel that wants to help us all this time? Did it have some way of wanting us to be free of the controlling populace? Was it looking for its mom?
Not that I'll ever know. Or get a straight answer to these questions, even if I did ask. Thanks to the cable, really the creature who swims off into the night and never shows up in this game ever again, we get unlimited swimming.
Nice.
We also get some fish following us, which is also
Nice.
We explore the ruins of the facility. A white light flashed across the screen for a brief moment.
Was that a glitch? Probably not.
As we swim some more, some weird noises start playing. It turns out that through the opening and closing door, those weird noises are actually some spinning wheels, which promptly slice me in two. We swim up a path to find a ladder to climb, so we can escape. This leads to me getting strung up, damn it. I ended up rotating a platform to access it when I climb up the ladder, hopefully not getting strung up another time. This leads us to a tube filled with water. Going through a fence, we find ourselves in some kind of facility, with some corpses being shown hung upside down within the water at the top. I wondered, is this what they did to the people who refused to be brainwashed? Jesus, stop doing that! As I made my way to the edge of the room, I found a pole that had a launch box on it. All I had to do was to try and detach it from the pole so I could use it to ascend to the top where all the corpses are. This puzzle took me what felt like hours to solve. I mean, once I figured out what I was supposed to do, it was just a matter of getting the timing right, and very often did I fuck up the timing. Ugh, it was annoying! I did eventually do it, and I got the launch box into the main room where I used it to travel into the sea of corpses. Swimming through the sea felt very ethereal thanks to the soft ambient music and the depressing atmosphere of the environment. We can't stay here forever though, even with our unlimited swimming, so we pull some bits out the top to reveal the next area. This leads to another puzzle involving changing the levels of the water, though the big difference here is that when you enter the room, the audio dies. Well, whatever the case, we went into another room to grab a crate. The door opened to reveal some construction workers taking some prisoners away on a forklift. After they left, I continued to drag the box back into the water room. I moved the box into position, then I swam into the next room, which was another upside down room with more corpses. I pulled the lever, then all of the corpses fell down. Thankfully, all of them were wearing underwear. They followed me for a bit, then I tried to get them to throw me up to the bottom. It didn't work, no sir. So I pulled the lever again, got them to throw me into the upside down water, then I was able to press the button. When I got to the next area, more mindless people followed me. They threw me over to the other side of the room so I could see what was going on. Where the hell's that guy going? I went through the opening within the nearby shaft, which led to another room whose floor is stained with blood. Why is there blood on the floor? And god damn it, why can't I open the door? Well, after reuniting with my fellow mindless people, I managed to get the door open, and I found myself in another big-ass facility. Exploring the facility leads us to some kind of laboratory. Right in the middle is a huge testing chamber thing, which everyone, including myself, are curious as to what's in there.
It serves us some good food for thought, but you'll never guess what's in there.
There are more people looking down into the big room from above, but we decide to navigate our way below, which leads us to a suspended forklift. We use this as a platform to reach a ladder, which we descend into some kind of pump. We then get sucked through the pump and into the room, where we are greeted with
What the hell is that?
this pulsating, malformed, fleshy blob, ladies and gentlemen, is the piece de resistance of the game. The Huddle. What the hell is this thing exactly? Was this the thing the scientists were experimenting on this whole time? Is it supposed to be some kind of symbolic representation of the people wanting freedom from the control of the society? Well, considering it uses its hands to pull the boy into itself, then it pulls down a panel to allow it to escape from its confinement, then yes, it is. Probably. As you've no doubt gathered, we are now playing as this blob, and using its newfound freedom, we get to annihilate everything in our path! Buildings, dioramas, pipes, doors, structures, chairs, they all get destroyed. While this whole moment is considerably shocking, there also seems to be an underlying sense of comedy to this scene, as you are still required to solve puzzles as the blob, but its spherical shape, the massive hands trying to hold the objects, and the constant moaning made me pull a goofy grin across my face, due to how awkward and a little silly it all seems. It then decides to delve into the realms of black comedy when it brutally slaughters a scientist, then it washes itself of its blood through a nearby puddle, then it carries on its business attempting to throw wooden plank onto the bottom as if it never happened. But don't get me wrong, it's still creepy, all things considered. Despite this,
I should try and poke around its head sometime. Maybe then I'll understand the enigma that is the inner machinations of its mind.
we go up a lift, bypass some more dogs, try and fail to destroy a door, then we fall down a chute, which leads to a locked door. After finding a wooden crate, we take it to a furnace on the other side. From here, we get a cute little moment where the blob plays throw and catch with the burning crate, making sure it doesn't get doused by the water from the sprinklers. I like the little yelps of pain as it struggles with the crate, it just makes it a little more endearing to me. One Allons-y, chuck of the crate into the nearby chute, and we move on. Oh cool, another launch box. Well, too bad we can't reach the button. Worse, we can't even pull the string to activate it. Fortunately, there's a scientist nearby, so we let him pull the string and he gives it back to us. Okay, when it activates, we throw it up to the button. Just like that, the door opens and we find another launch box. Come on, give me the box. Give me the box. Give it to me! Ah shit, we're underwater again. At least we managed to find a way to escape as we swim for freedom. With one last charge through a wooden panel, we make it to the outside world, where we rest under the sunlight, and the game ends at long last.
The end. Or is it?
Yes, dear viewer, it turns out there's actually an alternate ending to the game. But how do you get this ending, I hear you ask? Well, if you remember at one point, I found an orb, wondered what it was, then swiftly moved on. Of course, there's a reason I did that, since you have to find some orbs in order to access this ending. See, there are actually 14 orbs to find in this game, and when you find them, you have to pull the yellow cable out in order to switch it off. Actually finding these orbs can be a bit of a challenge, as while some of them are easy enough to find, others can be challenging to get to. One of the orbs, for example, required me having to go through some fucking doors in order to reach the orb, and I kept dying to these bitches over and over. Keeping them at bay with a solitary torch turned out to be a bit harder than I expected, but I can assure you I did eventually get the orb. Once you find all of them, you end up going back to the cornfield, where there is a secret room towards the end of the field. You go in, and you enter a secret combination on the nearby panel in order to open the door. This leads you to a mind control device connected to some computers.
So wait, this whole time, this game's been nothing more than a simulation? Is this the game's way of saying you've had your fun, now fuck off and touch some grass?
I assume so, as the boy finds a panel that hides a plug. He pulls it and enters a limp state, where the game ends right there and then. If you were to sum up this game in one sentence, it would pretty much be, if you like Limbo, you'll like Inside. And I think that's a fair assumption, given as how this game is similar to Limbo in most ways, from the controls to the music to the atmosphere. To be fair, this was kind of the point when Playdead was making this game, as they wanted to ensure everyone who played Limbo felt right at home playing Inside. Don't get me wrong, Inside is a good game, it's just that feeling is just ever present as you play it. If there's one thing I feel Limbo does better than Inside, I say the gameplay is smoother in Limbo, given as how it's running at 60 frames per second as opposed to Inside's 30 FPS target. It allows the gameplay and controls of Limbo to feel smoother and tighter than Inside, despite their simplicity. That being said though, Inside has its moments. Some well done moments, with the huddle at the end being this game's biggest highlight given how sudden and unexpected its appearance is, and for having a great blend of horror and comedy. The rest of the game's moments are about on par with Limbo though. I guess stringy-haired creatures pack the same amount of punch as a giant spider. And even though Inside may not have as many puzzles as Limbo, or at least as many puzzles that utilize unique gameplay mechanics, it allows the game to be a lot more streamlined, allowing the moment-to-moment focus to just happen. Finally, the story is good. It has an oppressive theme with a foreboding dark tone, and like Limbo, it shies away from explaining anything, allowing the world and atmosphere to come alive, at the cost of the story having a lot of meat to its bones. Despite the short runtime of just about over 4 hours or so, at least the alternate ending gives the game some replay value, more so than finding all the collectible maggots in Limbo, leading to an extra challenging level. At least, that's what the internet says anyway.
So, what happened after Inside? If you remember at the end of the Limbo video, I mentioned how Playdead are currently working on a new game in 3D, and in collaboration with Epic Games. 2 years on from that, and we still haven't heard anything from that project. Also, with the departure of Dino Patti shortly after Inside's release, who knows how the rest of the staff are getting on? Mr. Patti, meanwhile, is doing fine for himself at his own studio. Hey, they even released a new game at said studio in 2022. Who'da thunk? But I've got nothing more to say on Inside, so I think I'll get some shut-eye and wake up in about a century or so, then I'll talk about something else. Goodbye!
Hey there everybody! Don't forget to like the video and comment on it. If you want to keep up to date with all of my videos, click that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Share this video around where you can, and follow me on socials with the links below.